Hello, my name is Alex and welcome to my channel. In this video I will be making an objective analysis of Timothy Sykes and his services to determine if it is worth it or if it's just another scam.
What's up, Tim Sykes, millionaire mentor and trader, and somebody who is often labeled a scam. This video is about whether or not I am a scam. First, let me state conclusively, I am not a scam.
Well, that's it. I guess the case is closed. If he said so, I guess it must be true, right? He published that video a couple of days ago and kind of inspired me to investigation to find the truth. Since he's so upfront about people labeling him as a scam, and he definitely looked the part, well, I also will be putting a link in the description for his full video so that you can see his version of everything that I'll be saying. I will also be leaving links to other articles and timestamp of this video to make it easier to digest on all the information, because this video is going to be pretty long. While doing the due diligence, it's always important to filter out any biased reviews, like from affiliates that are going to get paid if you buy from their link, or business partners that obviously have some kind of conflict of interest. So if you see a link to buy any product after a review, be aware that they will have a clear conflict of interest, and anything they say is to try and sell you something, because they will get a commission. So that's very important to see every time you're doing some kind of a due diligence. So is it possible to find evidence that Tim Sykes is either legit or a scam?
Challenge accepted.
So let's check the scam definition. The definition will be an illegal plan for making money, especially one that involves tricking people. Another example would be a dishonest or illegal plan or activity, especially one for making money, or an illegal way of making money, usually by tricking people. All these are definitions from the Cambridge Dictionary, and it's going to be the definition that we will be using for this presentation. There are a lot of different types of scams, but we'll be focusing on what I like to call the guru scam. And it's easy to identify those, and you can find them in a lot of industries like real estate or MLMs, internet marketing, things like that, especially on the internet. Last year was very evident with the Bitcoin bubble. You can see them everywhere. Everyone was showing, their Ferraris in YouTube videos, and how many millions they made, in Bitcoin. And that's how it goes. Usually, you see them showing fancy cars.
I'm not really materialistic.
This is the gold venue.
I feel like I fought all my life for this.
Giving a tour of their mansion.
Welcome to another edition of Day Trader Cribs.
Private jets. A classic story from rag to riches, practically swimming in cash.
I came from a poor family, I had less than $65 in my bank, to now living this type of life, waking up on the, top floor hotel, sleeping in some of the most expensive hotels in the entire world.
Basically selling the lifestyle of the Kardashians. Below I will be posting an excellent video by Anton Kreil about this type of charlatan educators. And it is very easy to fake this type of lifestyle. That's why there are so many. But in short, you can basically rent an exotic car, or a mansion in Airbnb for a couple of days, record a bunch of videos to publish during a year span. You can also buy fake money from this website. For example, this is called propmoviemoney.com, and you can see you can basically buy this fake money and then throw it in a bed or something so that it looks very very real. They can also show profits, trades from a demo account or any kind of software. Use Photoshop for the statements, or even if it's a real account, they can have multiple accounts and take opposite positions. Basically, show the position that wins. So it's very, very easy to kind of fake this. Also, they all do kind of motivational type of videos, like saying you have to believe in yourself or work hard on you deserve this, and try to hype a lifestyle, and then start to sell you some type of course or subscription to be able to get to that promised land. In the end, they all just want your money.
Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh, my bad. No problem.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I'll just destroy this office.
Hey!
Money, please. Money, please.
Ben, give her some money. It's easier.
One of the main points to identify this type of scams is when they promise unrealistic returns in a very short period of time. For example, these are yearly returns. The first couple, they are attainable, but it's very hard to be consistent, and you probably have to risk a lot to get those type of returns. But once it gets like over 100, you're doubling your money. That is very, very hard to do.
I've got a proven track record of a unique system I've developed where I can double my money week after week after week.
And, every time someone promises unrealistic returns in a short period of time, you have to remember that if it sounds too good to be true, it generally is.
Friend. It sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yes, thank you. You will get rich quick. We all will.
Didn't you lose a lot of money on that other investment, the one from the email?
You know what, Toby? When the son of the deposed king of Nigeria emails you directly asking for help, you help. His father ran the freaking country, okay?
And anyone that could double up their money in that short period of time will be a billionaire in no time. We can see the example of doubling or just a penny for each day, how it looks. For each day, if you start with 1 penny, by day 30, you will end up with over $5 million. So doubling your money is something that can go exponentially. And this is why it brings up the question, if they make so much money, why are they trying so hard to sell you their courses? Doesn't make that much sense.
Why not use your knowledge of the future to play the stock market? We could make trillions.
Why make trillions when we could make billions?
One of the reasons that could be is that, there is a satisfaction of helping others, and I can understand that. And actually, I have done that before, but mainly for free. But sometimes free doesn't get you the commitment needed. So I get that, but you don't have to, charge exaggerated amounts of money, especially if you're successful. Some of these gurus even say they have created millionaires, students, and show them as proof of the value they can offer and what you can accomplish in a very short period of time.
Kyle Dennis joined the service 2 years ago at 24 years old. 2 years later, he has taken $15,000 and turned it into $1.1 million trading stocks from home.
So does Tim Sykes fall into this category of trading gurus? You can see him in, as seen on different interviews, so it definitely looks legit, right? Can we find him using those same marketing tactics just to try and sell you courses? Like him showing expensive cars.
290, 300,000.
Tour of their mansion, like crib style.
How morning. Welcome to my Miami mansion. My name is Tim Sykes, and you know, we got a pretty sweet place here. If you work hard enough, trading, blogging, doing whatever you want to do, you can afford a place like this.
What about showing a private jet?
What's up? I am Tim Sykes, and I am here with my private jet for the weekend.
Or lifestyle, traveling the world.
What's up, Tim Sykes, millionaire mentor trader here in the Philippines, kayaking and trading, multitasking. My laptop might have gotten a little wet, but I have to show you that you can work from anywhere.
Okay, that looks a little too much. What about showing off in a bed full of cash?
Hey, Tim Sykes here, and I've got a whole bunch of cash that I gotta organize. It's been a slumber party, but now the slumber party is over, so...
Just by looking at those videos, I wouldn't take it seriously and buy a course from him. I usually just, you know, think it's just a scam and ignore it, but because of this, I decided to do a little more due diligence. Let's see, what about our main key point of unrealistic returns?
Because we are going to teach you a very niche strategy where you can make 1,000% on your money.
Well, at least he has proved that he can back it up with results of millionaire students in a short period of time, right?
5 years from having $1,500 to your name to over $4 million.
Okay, it really looks similar. Doesn't look good so far. I kind of seen that movie before. Can you notice the difference?
Here are two pictures. One is your locker. The other is a garbage dump in the Philippines. Can you tell which is which?
That one's the dump.
They're both your locker.
Ah, I should have guessed that. He's good.
He argues that the main difference between him and these scammers is that he is transparent. So let's see if we can find some evidence of that to help his case. Here we can see an article from the Huffington Post. This is all like in 2014. And the author tried to do a similar investigation. And he mentions that Tim's strategy includes short selling pump and dumps.
For me, I want to actually utilize all different kinds of companies and stocks in the stock market to get me richer. And for whatever reason, pump and dumps and penny stocks have worked the best for me and my top millionaire students.
And so what is this pump and dump? We can see the definition here in Wikipedia. Pump and dump is a form of securities fraud that involves artificially inflating the price of an owned stock through false and misleading positive statements in order to sell the cheaply purchased stocks at a higher price. Once the operators of the scheme dump, sell their overvalued shares, the price falls and investors lose their money. You can see here also a definition from the SEC. So I will leave the links below so that you can check it out later if you want to. The thing is that a lot of people, even they know this is illegal, they still want to invest in penny stocks. Here's another article that people invest in stock scams even when they know they are scams. So why will people buy stock even they know there's a good chance its price is manipulated? Here it says because they want to get rich, whatever the risk. And they actually made some research in this article from Christian Lutz on the University of Chicago. They said that nearly 6% of active investors end up in these schemes and lose an average of 30% of their investments, according to the Economist examination of 421 pump and dumps between 2002 and 2015, based on trading records for more than 110,000 individual investors in Germany. So it looks like Tim Sykes can find companies that are doing this illegal act and use it as his edge to then short them and profit from, when they decide to dump the stock.
For once and for all, what is the answer there?
Okay, I have some good news for everybody. You don't have to pump and dump. Woo!
So in terms of his strategy, it's not something that I will really like to get involved with. But if his strategy works, is it worth it to even give it a chance and try it? Well, if we go back in this the same article that we were discussing, the author consulted with trusted professionals. Here he says he's not promoting the SEC, he's not registered, but it's okay. Didn't expect that. But here it started saying that he consulted with trusted professionals and talk about this guy. And Edward O'Neill, he qualifies him as a trusted professional. Here's his information, and he asked what due diligence he will have to do to verify the claims made by Mr. Sykes. And this is what he said. He says he will need brokerage account records of all Mr. Sykes' trading record over the time period. For each trade, a trade confirmation. All commissions, markups, markdowns that occur on the trades. Here is another important part. As practical matter, Mr. O'Neill does not believe any due diligence is necessary because he will never recommend a trading strategy that touts potential large returns, one concentrated on trading penny stocks, or one based on short-term in and out trading. According to Mr. O'Neill, any one of those three would make me run. Imagine if someone told me their strategy was all three. Of course, he's referring to Mr. Sykes' strategy. Another important part is this other trader, Sean Kelly, has additional concerns. And his information and he questions whether the returns claimed by Mr. Sykes are scalable. This is going to be an important part because we're going to be analyzing that later on. The type of stocks being shorted is typically thinly traded. The prices could be easily affected if a group of Mr. Sykes followers attempted to replicate his trade. Mr. Kelly places little weight on the claims that two of Sykes' students became millionaires. This was at the time of this writing. Now he says he has 5 millionaire students. With thousands of students, Kelly will expect to see data showing that hundreds of them are successful. He notes this adage, even a stop clock is right twice a day. And later on, he asked Mr. Sykes to provide for brokerage statements and related documents validating his claims. I also asked for data showing the returns earned by his students, and he declined. But that was then, and now this is what Tim says.
What I do is teach. I show my trades transparently. I show my income tax returns. I show my audits. I show my wins. I show my losses.
So he claims it's transparent, so maybe we can look for information. This is what I was able to find. I found this website is from around 2014, and I will also leave a link in the description. There are some audit reports from 1999, 2000, 2001, and 2002 that you can check them out from the link. So I won't go through them. And here we can see at the time of this, even he claims 4.5, but actually it's right around a little bit over 4 million by this date. I believe it's in the middle of 2014. And here he put more statements. This is where this I think is from until March 2014. His statements, and also some brokerage information from TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim. And I believe this is when he tried to do his challenge again and start from scratch from $12,000 and try to make it to 1 million again, since that's how he started. And here we can see from 2007, the end of 2008, 2009, 2010, and 2011, basically. So he got to 141,000, and also some tax returns, a copy of some of his taxes. So at least he's giving us more information. It is possible that he photoshopped this, but I don't think so, and I'll use this as an evidence. This is from the Twitter account of GuruLeaks, and they posted this. Apparently, Timothy Sykes posted this in his Twitter feed, or in a big hotel, and this is what he posted. I don't know if this was Twitter or Instagram, I'm not sure, but he says, "This badass discovery, the other hotel guests lounging at the pool were very confused by this chat, asking why I was standing there in my robe holding out my MacBook Pro like a crazy person. I just told them that just another day in the life of the world's preeminent laptop model." And then what they do is they just take notice that this is just Photoshop. There is no shadow. So I don't believe he has, too much Photoshop skills, and I will use these statements as for real for now. Of course, he didn't show a statement from all his accounts and didn't show the data of each trade, including commissions, like it was mentioned before, and that will be easily downloadable in the TD Ameritrade as a PDF. But I also should add that I am not a member of his site, so it is very possible that he does show more details inside the members area. But even though it's still, this is more information than what most scammers have shown. So kudos for Mr. Sykes for doing, the extra mile in this. However, this statement showed that he's actually profitable, and his strategy has been profitable for a couple of years. And also, for evidence of his strategy's profitability, there was a study made from 2008 to 2010, and I will also post the link of it. And let me get it there. So there was a study from CXO Advisory Group, and what they basically concluded was that 74% of the trades are profitable. That was its win rate. On the trade weight basis, the average net return per trade is 6%, around 6%, and the standard deviation of the trade returns is 13%. So again, it's just saying that his strategy works, and he kind of has an edge. So I will use it as proof that his strategy worked during the time of that study.
60% of the time, it works every time.
And he mentioned that he showed every trade win and losses, and what he refers to is a website that he created called Profitly. So let's go there and take a look. So here we are in his website from Profitly and his profit graph. And the first thing that jumps up is from 2014, that's where we were, and 2018, from these last 4 years. It definitely doesn't show the 100% returns that he's claiming here. So from 2014 to 2017, this doesn't look like, he's getting those returns. He should be having over 100 million if that was true. So, but he does mention that at one point he started from scratch. But even so, if you start from scratch every year with a small account, it still doesn't add up. to these kind of numbers.
Gave alternative facts to that.
So Tumiel is a misrepresentation, since he can take bigger risk as a percentage of his account. He can have a big account and let's say make a trade of risking 15,000, and then he double up that account and he does 100% return, but in reality it's not 100% from the total of his account. It's like the people that buy options and say you're gonna get like 500% return of your capital and things like that. This is kind of a misrepresentation. It's not really how I would classify the returns of his whole account. Also, it would be possible to pick and choose from different small accounts, right? If he has like 15,000 accounts, which one is the best performer, and then show those results. So that's something that to me is a little bit misleading. But let's take a closer look anyway. Well, this is from the beginning, when he started, and around on 2000, the internet bubble. We see a big jump here, almost to 1 million.
So in 2000, this was like 2 years into my journey. I had my first $100,000 day, and I only had like 175,000 to my name at the time. Or 250,000 to my name. I bet like 175,000. I bet big.
And then kind of stale for a little bit for 2 years or so, making smaller gains. And after he got to 1 million at around 2002, we start seeing these big jumps, right? And then again in 2004, and again here and on 2006, and from 2006 and 2010 we kind of go kind of flat, and I believe this is where he started again using the $12,000 account. But these big jumps are a little worrisome for me, because it doesn't look like one big trade. So let's see if we can analyze that a little bit further. So here we can see, if we go to his trades and filter for biggest gains, these are the big numbers that we were looking at on 2002, 2005, 300,000, and 2004. So to me, it's very clearly that he can manually input the data. So it will be possible to manipulate the data of the profit chart. Of course, this seemed obvious at first because it's his website, but here is a proof. Also, can we have more proof about that? Let's see. If we go to the frequently asked question of his website, of this Profitly, we can see a couple of interesting points. First is this point. Is it a conflict of interest for Timothy Sykes to both own the site and be on the leaderboards? No, he's the reason Profitly exists, and he exemplifies the kind of brutal honesty and transparency to which all trade should aspire.
I see you lying on Twitter about your track record, and I'm like, fuck you. I guess the verified Profitly is asking too much. I'm like, fuck you, and your last 2 seconds I will more laid back, I'll be more popular. Ha, no, ain't that some shit? And while I pity your followers, I wish you the best with a fuck you.
So this is obviously proof that he does own the site. Also, another important part is right here. Why does Profitly not require users to link their entire account for maximum accuracy? And the response is, we have learned much from our first year of operation, and many users do not want to share all trades. They seem to enjoy dipping their toe into the concept of Profitly. So that's fine for now. So to me, that is saying that you can kind of, any trader can edit and make their trades look a little bit prettier, especially if there's a community and their ego is in check. And most importantly, down here we can see how can I delete trades. View your individual trade by either clicking the amount or the time it was posted. Once you are viewing the single trade, you can click the trash can icon to delete the trade. So basically it's saying that anyone can delete their own trades, right? So if I make a mistake or a bad trade that I lose a lot, I can go back and delete it so it looks better. So we can check all the graph from everyone, and most likely the losses are gonna be very minimal because they can delete them. And another important part is here, there's the refund policy. Because premium members immediately benefit from the knowledge of the stats, analytics, and premium newsletter content they purchase, we do not give refunds. So that to me is also a little bit of a red flag, right? If I'm giving a good service or a good, good value, there's no reason for me not to give a refund. So that to me is kind of a red flag, especially if I know I'm going to deliver what I promise. No one or most people won't ask for a refund, right? So I would be confident about that, especially if you have like 6,000 videos that like he claimed. There's no way anyone can view all those videos and then cancel, and trying to take advantage of it. And if there's more value on being part of the community, which I believe there is some value of being part of the community, right? Where you can talk about trades, ideas, and things like that, and emotional support. Then why not give refund? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But let's go back again to the profit graph. Okay, and here we go back again to this part. Well, I guess this is where he went to the 12,000 account again, and to me it doesn't make that much sense either. Since if I were gonna do something like this, I can still have one small account but continue to trade on my bigger account, right? If I'm making money on the bigger account, there's no need to start from scratch. I can still do and verify my trades in just a brand new account with $12,000, but still, trade and get my income from my real account. So that doesn't make sense to me. Here then in 2010 we started to grow a little bit faster then, and on 2014 we get this big jump. And this he mentioned that this was his biggest year, and he made around $800,000 in this year.
Some people say, oh, Tim Sykes made all of his money back in the tech bubble of 99 and 2000. He hasn't made shit since. Well, then why did I make over $800,000 in 2014? That was actually my best trading year ever. I went big.
After that, he continued, but he says that now he trades with a smaller account. When he focused in small account, when he said he's focusing now in small account, told me he understands that this strategy has some scalability issues. So let's investigate those scalability issues and see if we go back again to the article. Here we can see you can see a little bit more of his trades here. Here it says, as noted above, there appears to be scaling constraints within the set of trades. The following scatter plot relates trade return to trade size in dollars for the 295 trade evaluator, indicating a tendency for large trades to be less profitable than small trades. And also said subscribers seeking to tag along on these trades therefore may face a scaling constraint that grows with the number of subscribers participating. It is not obvious that those tagging along will be reliably profitable in aggregate. For example, 1,500 subscribers tagging along on an alert at $10,000 per subscriber will create a 50 million aggregate trade. The impact of such trading on penny stock prices could well be material, expanding bid-ask spreads and moving prices against profitability. And he gives another example right there. Also, they state another type of scalability constraint on subscribers is potentially severe limitation of unavailability of shares to borrow for shorting. For example, in January 2010, Timothy Sykes reported that the vast majority of shares are taken or not available to short through pump and dumps. So the opening of my pre-market watch list is key to succeeding with my bread and butter strategy of shorting blatant pumps. And this is an example, I guess, from that trade. Recently, where only a few dozen of my subscribers found shares to short since they didn't reserve them early like I did. Give a course of my strategy, aka this limited scalability. So he understands that it's not a scalable strategy. So that's why he doesn't continue to trade with all his millions, right? And he go back. So in other words, only the most attentive and nimble few percent of about 1,500 subscribers were able to tag along on the short trade. 1,500 subscribers at this time. Right now he has a lot more. After that, kind of mention a little bit of Thermo Services. I think he has updated them, so let's check them now on Profitly. These are a couple of important points that I found. First is here in the number 4, user submission and other content. We do not represent or guarantee the completeness, truthfulness, accuracy, usefulness, or reliability of any content or user submission. And also here, this is important, the company has the right in its sole discretion and without further notice to you to monitor, censor, edit, move, and or remove any or all content posted on the company sites. So if anyone have like a negative review or a negative experience or whatever, they can easily, remove it. So that's something that is something to note. Also, another important part is down here. Let's see, in miscellaneous. This part I found it interesting. All dispute with TLC media arising in any way from or in any way related to this agreement shall be resolved exclusively through final and binding arbitration and not by a court or jury, right? And even more important is here, any such dispute not be combined or consolidated with a dispute involving any other person or entity's product or claim, and specifically without limitation of the foregoing shall not under any circumstances proceed as part of a class action. Okay, so but the class action is another kind of red flag for me. So why should there be any concern about that, right? And we also have found additional evidence that his style of trading is not scalable, and he was the #1 ranked trader in Covestor. They are now from Interactive Brokers.
I had zero credibility, but I got my credibility back by becoming the #1 ranked trader out of 60,000 plus traders on Covestor, a website that was just growing right when I first got started teaching in 2007, 2008, and they verified all my trades, and I was the #1 ranked trader. I went back to my $12,000 roots. I made roughly $250,000 in 3 years, and I was #1 out of tens of thousands of traders. That gave me a little credibility. Still not a lot of credibility. Okay, I can trade. Maybe it's something I have. Can I actually pass these lessons down to you?
But the message from the Chief Product Officer at Covestor, right, Martin Eriksson. And it says, Tim Sykes is no longer managing an investment model on the Covestor platform due to the nature of Tim's strategy. We were not able to effectively replicate his traits for our clients. We are committed to providing our clients with the best experience possible and are constantly striving to enhance the marketplace, so had to part ways with Tim. So he knows that most of his followers won't be able to profit from his trades, but he continues to sell his trading signals anyway. So that's something that is not, not ethical in my mind. And only the traders that get in early can benefit, but most won't have a chance. And even he has mentioned that some of his students kind of optimize their emails to get the promotion from the companies first before anyone else.
He was a huge help with that, because I was watching him, and anytime one of these big promos was announced, he would always be posting a $5,000 gain or more, and I'd be like, how does he keep getting these fills? How does he see them so fast?
Do you remember a webinar he did for challenge students, and it was like he optimized his email to get it like an extra like 2 seconds faster, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy, but it worked.
Yeah, I mean.
So in essence, all his students are gonna be competing for the fills. And it's very possible that, the ones that got in first are now the millionaires, right? So let's check out the millionaire students. And this is the leaderboard from Profitly. So, and he's number 3, and here are the other gurus and millionaires. I haven't found evidence of broker statements from other students. So even if it's not optimal, we will use Profitly for this part of our analysis. We can see here the leaderboard, and we can try to find out how many of the traders actually have surpassed the $1 million mark. As we can see in the whole page, the first page, the first 10 already made over 1 million, so that's pretty impressive. Let's see, on the second page, we can still see people making over 1 million. So that's a lot of people. And in total, we get around 19 people that have passed the $1 million mark. So it looks like 19 traders have got to the $1 million mark. Again, that's pretty impressive. However, if we dig a little deeper, we can see some traders don't even trade anymore, and even some of accounts kind of look fake. So let's check them out. We start going with some of these traders. This is the number 1 leader right now. I don't know who he is, but you can see he started in 2006. He has a big loss, and then a super spike for over $10 million, but it stopped at 2014. So he's not trading anymore. It doesn't make sense to me if he's making that much money. So maybe he's in the Bahamas or something, retired. I don't know. But this other trader also, almost $3 million, and stopped trading in 2015. This other trader also around 2015 stopped trading, or there's no more record of him. This other trader around January of 2012. Another trader on July 2016, over 1 million, and then stopped trading. Another trader here, he stopped trading on July 2015. This one looks pretty fishy, probably a fake account. It just had a dot of $4 million. So probably kind of a fake account, unless you can just deposit and, it's gonna put you a profit graph. It doesn't make a lot of sense. This other guy also is kind of fishy. He has like in a span of 1 month, just from 0 to 2.5 million, and then just a straight line. Again, it's not, it doesn't look like a real trade, especially because it says has 3 wins and 22 losses. So I don't know what the deal is. And this last one, again, around 2017 to 2016, he made almost the 1 million mark and then kind of went flat. Had a little jump on 2017. From last year to the end of this year is probably it's just kind of a flat line. So it's we're talking that basically 9 of 19 traders that have over 1 million profit chart have either disappeared or have fake accounts, or they just stopped trading. That is roughly 50% of the success stories, and we are including the gurus here. We're including Tim Sykes, and also if we go back, Superman. He's number 4 with almost 5 million, and he's also in the gurus page. So that's something that you have to understand, that even if you make it looks kind of strange in my mind. And again, also with the gurus, another thing that struck me is that there used to be more gurus and now there are only 2. So let's check it out. Okay, if you use the Wayback Machine using the website, we can see how this Profitly website looked on January 2016. And as you can see, there were a lot more gurus before, and some of them are part of the millionaire students that I've seen he interview on his YouTube challenge, YouTube videos. Sorry. So what's going on? Why are they disappearing? It seems kind of strange if they're making so much money, like 1 million, half a million, 374, and all these people, if you try and click the get more information, they also sell courses or subscriptions. So out of all those millionaires that are still trading with Tim or are associated with him, how many of them are now selling DVDs or videos? Let's check out Connor. Is this guy over here. Even though he's not one of the gurus anymore, you can see right here he was selling a subscription of $247 and $147 a month. That's kind of a lot if you start adding all the other subscriptions. What about the other traders? Another one is Treeforce, and his name, I believe, is Matt Owens, and this is his website, treeforcetrader.com, and you can see he have a lot of things that he's gonna charge you for, but this is the Treeforce training number 1, so it has 2 parts, and the cost is $2,500. Not cheap at all. And this is him. And what about the training part number 2? Okay, 3,000. No, doesn't look cheap at all. And what are they teaching in these videos? Isn't supposed to, they learn from the same guy, right? Did they make money with other strategies? Are they backstabbing Tim, or what's going on? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Also, this is Tim Britannia, another of his millionaire, and in his website, you go click here again, gets you to his Profitly website, and again it's charging you almost $1,800. If you go through his website, you actually get a discount. So if you are actually gonna buy from him, just use this coupon if you want to. But again, it doesn't make sense. Why do you need so many courses? It's supposed to Tim gonna help you, or the subscription with all those 4,000 videos, 6,000 videos, how many they are. Another one, this is Steven Dukes, his website, and again he's charging almost $900. First is his DVD. Let's see another one, Roland Wolf. He's charging $450. So this is cheaper, right? But again, is it the same training or what's going on? I don't get it. They all learn from the same guy. That doesn't make much sense. Another one, I think this is his first millionaire was Michael Good. And if you go to the store, you can see that he has this video. He's part of this video selling for $397. He's collaborated with Tim. So he didn't do a video by himself, but he collaborated, and then I believe he sold the rights to it. He used to have like a license. So let's check it out. Here's on his website, Good Trades. In the term of use, we can see the part that says relationship with Timothy Sykes, and it says clearly prior to the launch of Profitly, he was an affiliate of Timothy Sykes, and he received 35% of the purchase price for anyone ordering using his link. So that's normal. I don't mind that. He's just an affiliate at that time. But here another important or interesting part, I think. The second paragraph, it says that he moderates and administers Tim Sykes' team alerts stock chat room, and he assists Mr. Sykes with the trading challenge, and he receives substantial remuneration for this work. So he gets paid for this work. Again, nothing wrong with that. He's just doing a job and he's getting paid, so that's good for him. But you have to see it all in context, that they all are working together. Also, Michael collaborated with Tim Sykes on the SEC filing DVD published by Tim's company. That's the one that I just mentioned. And he received a flat monthly payment for licensing the material on that DVD. Right, so you can read all the details here. The other part that was kind of interesting to me while reading this is this last part. Morning Light Mountain LLC currently has a contract with Millionaire Media LLC that includes a non-disparagement clause. I actually didn't know what that was, so let's see what it is. So a non-disparagement or protection of reputation clause restricts individual from taking any action that negatively impacts an organization, its reputation, products, services, management, or employees. And if we see the definition here, again, disparage, to criticize someone or something in a way that shows you do not respect or value him, her, or it. Again, if I am a mentor of these guys and I've helped them achieve, this wonderful lifestyle and change their life with millions of dollars, they all should be really grateful, right? No one will be, trying to steal from me. And if they do, actually, you can check out on the terms and conditions here that he's pretty grave on that. So he doesn't, he will not let them plagiarize his material, right? So in other words, they are all working together. And even though they say they made millions from trading, they decided to change the business model from trading to selling courses. And that might constitute a conflict of interest. And all of their testimonials and videos should be taken with a grain of salt, right? Because they're all part of the same business. They're all working together. Of course, they're not going to say anything negative. And even less if they have, they sign a contract that prohibit them to say anything negatively. So I really have no idea if they really made millions trading. But if they did, most likely they got lucky, risking a lot.
But there's going to be one pattern that 5 days or 6 days I can put, not all my money is on, but I can put almost 80% of my money to build my account.
Yeah.
And I use that pattern to build my account because the pattern repeats again and again and again. It never changes. And
it's crazy, right?
It's crazy.
And then probably realize it's not a sustainable model. So they became partners with Tim Sykes to profit from selling courses, basically selling you the dream of becoming rich.
All right, so raise your hand if you want to get rich. All right.
No, how is this not a pyramid scheme?
All right, let me explain again. Phil has recruited me and another guy. Now we are getting 3 people each. The more people that get involved, the more people who are investing, the more money we're all going to make. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not even a scheme per se. It's I have to go make a call.
So, but is it really a scam? Is this like a scam? Where is the proof, right? Okay, let's go back to the definition of scam. A dishonest or illegal plan or activity, especially one for making money. So let's start with dishonest. First, he is selling a strategy he knows is not scalable by selling you the dream of a lifestyle of luxury and freedom.
Hi, I'm Timothy Sykes, and here are some tips to help you truly enjoy yourself while you're working and traveling. Travel to beautiful and interesting places and make money during your trips thanks to the power of the internet.
Yet, if his lifestyle is real, it's because he makes money selling courses, not from trading.
I trade with a small account in order to teach. Any money that I make from trading gets donated to charity too. I make roughly $100,000 to $200,000 a year, like I have pretty much every year for the past 2 decades. Nothing huge.
It's good that he donates to charity, but an important fact is that $100,000 to $200,000 a year is not enough for the billionaire lifestyle that he sells.
Look at my $30,000 watch. It's not just about the money. It's about living better. And that is what I want to help you understand, you know?
But even he confesses that, the way he trades is just a huge grind.
We looked at Mark Crook's trades, another challenge student who just passed $700,000 in profits. 80% of his profits come from 6% of his trades.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And the rest of it, I mean, sure, yeah, you get that extra 20% profits, but the emotional and mental drain from just trading that much, I don't know if it's worth it. Yeah.
Trading is very frustrating. If you're just trading a bunch of stuff, you're like the daily grind, you're going through all this stuff, you're like, God, this isn't like freedom at all. This is like slavery.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned in this article that he works 17 to 18 hours a day. So let's check it out. So this is an article from Inc.com by John Rampton. And here one of the questions he asked, how many hours a day do you work? And Tim answers, it's more like how many hours a day do I not work? I work 17 to 18 hours a day. So that's not, like a freedom kind of life, right? And that's because of he's running a business. It's not just trading. And also another interesting question was about his Lamborghini. Let's see if I can find it here. Should I buy a Lamborghini? And he answers, I actually wrote an article with some of the reasons why entrepreneurs should have Lamborghinis for their businesses. That car has paid for itself 10 times over. I know I can barely drive it, it sucks to park, and it's uncomfortable for road trips. But from a business standpoint, it is the single best investment I made. It takes you from 6 figures to 7 figures or 8 figures. You don't even have to buy a brand new one. It's amazing how much our society values cars. That's an interesting comment, right? How much our society values cars. And so he's basically admitting here that he uses the flashy lifestyle to bring on the fish with that shining object, right? He knows it's just selling you this dream, even though he doesn't even like to drive the car. It's uncomfortable. So that's something to take notice. And he does all this knowing that only a small percentage of traders, that subscribers of his, will have a chance to make it with his strategy. And you will have to work extremely hard, get lucky, risk a lot. And if you can get in before everyone else, then you might make it, right? And he says he wants to help and teach, yet makes it even harder for students to have success. What do I mean? Well, he focuses on small accounts.
What I do is very different. I focus on people with the least money. Not necessarily like $100, because frankly you can't do anything with $100. I'm sorry, if you open up a Robinhood account, you're just going to get fucked by them. That's another video for another time. Ideally, you have $1,000 or $2,000 to start with my strategy.
But then he charges you for courses, software, subscriptions, and tells you that if you don't succeed, it's because you didn't work hard enough, and you should keep trying for at least 2 to 3 years. Very convenient for a monthly subscription model, right? Also, don't forget that you won't get a refund. So, to me, that is false advertising and kind of a dishonest scam. But what about the illegal part, right? Is dishonest or illegal? So what about this part? Well, this one is a little bit harder to prove, but it could be argued that, you know, by knowingly recommending low volume stocks and having a big following, he could very well be manipulating the prices every time he sends an alert and benefit from the movement of these stocks. This will be kind of a form of front running. And what is front running? We can check it out here and see the definition. Front running, also known as tailgating, is the prohibited practice to entering into an equity, stock, trade, option, futures, contract, derivative, or security-based swap to capitalize on advanced non-public knowledge of a large pending transaction that will influence the price of the underlying security. Front running is considered a form of market manipulation in many markets. So in other words, he will have a guaranteed profit because his followers will provide volume and move the stock in his favor. So if we go back to his profit graph, we see after his challenge of trying to make it back to 1 million, where he made from 12,000 to almost 200,000 or 100 something, right? Around 2010 is where he started, you know, profiting again pretty consistently, right? And if we go back and see the domain on Whois Domain Tools from the Profit League website, we can see he's the owner. And we can see that it was created by that year, around that year, in 2010. So he was kind of flat a couple of years, and then on 2010 it started to move again. Might be coincidence, but also information that is good to understand, right? So, could his signals manipulate the market? Is a good question, right? So if we go to his user page here on Profitly, we can see that he has 23,291 followers, right? If each follower tries to follow his trade and buy 1,000 shares, that will make a volume spike in his favor equivalent to a trade of 23 million shares. And in penny stocks, that will make a big difference. Of course, not everyone will do that, but let's say it's an average, right? Some people might do more, some people do less. Most probably don't follow it, so it's something to check it out. And another thing that is important is that he recommends the minimum volume he recommends are stocks of 100,000 shares. In this article, 10 rules all penny stock traders must live by. If we go to the rule number 3, pay attention to volume, we can clearly see that, you know, he goes for a minimum of 100,000 shares. So I would think that will be enough to make an impact in that kind of stock, and his followers won't be able to replicate his success unless they are the ones that go in first, or they can predict the signals beforehand.
And I started getting into it. I started learning your mentality.
Awesome.
And I start learning when you are going to buy. So I'm buying before you.
Cool.
So
could you predict my alerts ahead of time?
Yes.
Ah!
So I'm starting getting your mentalities, and that's where I start getting little profits from.
Very nice.
You have to be smart.
Yeah, of course.
Another interesting thing is in Stock to Trade. This is another website of Tim Sykes where he's a partner. It's clearly saying in the disclaimer, Stock Trade Inc. included but limited to Timothy Sykes and affiliates may have positions in the securities mentioned and may enter and exit such positions at any time and for any reason. So they are, telling you beforehand that they might have a position there. It was obvious, but it's always, if I'm talking about evidence, it's good to have things in writing. So it will be kind of interesting to see if his other millionaire students and partners are getting better entries when he sends a message for a trade. So because that could be a type of collusion, right? He can, they can all talk together and make the trade beforehand, and then anyone else will get the chance to get the message. However, I am not a member, so I cannot access and verify that has happened before. But members can check for themselves and see if they find something strange, like the timing of the entries. If the Gold Star students are actually getting in before you got the email, for example. Another thing that members can check that I can't is if once he sends the signal, the initial signal, let's say that the stock doesn't move, does he send another signal with the same trade, urging not to miss out, like telling you, come on, it's now or never, or something like that. And then if it doesn't move, does he then publish it on the blog as a freebie stock pick, or maybe an email push for all the other people that are not members yet? So that will be some interesting thing to continue the investigation. I won't do that because, again, I am not part of his membership area, and I only wanted to spend a couple of days doing this research, not waste my whole life. So Timothy Sykes made his money studying pump and dumps, so he clearly understands how that works, and it is possible. He just went to the dark side, and now he's doing his own version of it. So in other words, my recommendation is that I believe that no one should buy signals from any trader, and even more so on penny stocks where they can clearly be manipulated.
No, that's a scam!
So if I haven't convinced you yet, it's important to understand that it might be because of two very important psychological biases. The first one is confirmation bias. This is also called confirmation bias or my-side bias. It's the tendency to search for interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms one's pre-existing belief or hypothesis. So this might be if someone already bought the course, maybe he only focuses on whatever confirms their own beliefs, and it doesn't matter what anyone says or any negative review or whatever I say, they won't see it, right? Because they might see, even they start having some success because eventually some people will win money, right? If it's a 50-50, you buy or sell, some people will have to make at least some money, right? And the other important bias is called ostrich bias. This is the ostrich effect, especially prevalent among financial investors. Is the tendency to avoid dangers or negative information. This is another example. is a tendency to ignore dangerous negative information by ignoring it or burying one's head in the sand like an ostrich, right? So those are two important psychological biases that you should be thinking if you still are not really convinced. But if you still want to go ahead and be his customer, before making that decision, you should first realize this. So this will be the best case scenario if you still decide to be part of Tim Sykes' course. Well, let's say you make 500,000 to 1 million using speculative strategies, so basically gambling. So that will be the best case scenario, right?
So you might invest, and 2 years later you start with 2,000. 2 years later you're at 1,800, and you're like, "Fuck, the stock market sucks," because you're playing the wrong game. If you have a small account, you need speculative strategies. And I want you to send this video to whoever it applies to, your friends, your family members. Wall Street is one giant fucking lie for people with small accounts.
Then join Tim Sykes' business model, selling your own courses. You realize it's not scalable, so let's start selling courses to other people. Never learn to really invest or trade in the stock market, so either lose it all back and disappear like most other gurus, very likely, or start selling courses working more hours per day. That not what you had in mind at the beginning, and not the reason you paid in the first place, right? So what will be the worst case scenario? So the worst case scenario, you spend thousands of dollars in courses and subscriptions with no gains or losses to show in your account. After 2 or 3 years of hard work studying, you realize it was all a waste of time. You lose faith in the stock market and never get to really learn and appreciate how to make your money work for you, which is one of the best business model in my mind, learning to be an active investor. And like most people that win the lottery, if you don't learn how money works and how to invest it, chances are you will lose it. So what are the odds of making 1 million? First, let's see how many students does he have. In his about page, we can see that he's saying that he's a full-time teacher and has over 6,000 students. So we can calculate the odds if we already have that number. So let's see. So if there are 6,000 students and 19 of them were millionaires, including Tim and the other gurus, then you have a probability of 0.3% to make at least 1 million.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
So less than 1% basically. But what if you only won 500,000, half a million? Is that enough? Well, there are 47 students, including the gurus, that have over 500,000 in their profit charts. So then you'll have a probability of 0.78% to make at least half a million. Again, less than 1%. So to put things into perspective, the odds of hitting one number playing roulette in the casino are 1 in 38, or 2.6%. And your payout, if you hit that number, is 35 to 1. So if you could bet $30,000 in one number, the roulette, and win, you could make over $1 million.
$1 million.
With more than 8 times better odds in less time and less studying. I have to also add that the casinos won't let you bet that big, even though they have an edge. That's because it doesn't matter if you have an edge. If you bet too big, you will definitely gonna go bust. You're gonna lose all your money. So that's why it's so dangerous when I see, Tim and his students, gambling so much, so with high percentage of their account in one trade. So even if you work your ass off studying and become 5 times better than the other traders, and it's not very likely, given you all learn from the same material, you will improve to a 1.5% chance to make it. and it's just better to just go and gamble in the casino and instantly double up your account. So what are the costs of these services that he's offering? I am not including here the DVDs that he's selling, but if you want the monthly plan from Stock to Trade is $179. If you want the Profitly, to see the information of your trades and all that, it goes from $29.95 a month to $74.95 per month. And the Teams Alert goes from $74.95 per month to $149 per month. So it's not cheap at all in my opinion. So what about if I just want to double up my money? Well, let's say it is a guarantee that you will double up your money and start with a $5,000 account. So that will be more than double of what Team's target customer is. But let's use it as an example just to help you with the decision. So let's say you paid on the low end a monthly subscription of $29.95 for the Profitly Novice plan, $74.95 for Teams Alert, and $179.95 for Stock to Trade software, so that you can find the stocks to trade. That will make a total of $284.85 per month, and that will be $3,418 per year, and that's not including DVDs. So if you want DVDs, then it will be an extra cost. And I am putting all this cost because you have to see this like a business decision and then run it like a business. So you will have your cost and your profits, so you have to deduct your profits. So after doubling your money, your net win will be $5,000 minus your cost. So your net will be $1,582. That will be your net after 1 year. But to double your money, you had to work and study your ass off. So if you spend 2,000 hours in the year counting the time and the studying and trading, then that means that you'll be making less than $1 per hour in a skill that, in the best case scenario, is not scalable. So it's something that you have to think, right? Trading is like making decisions, and when you decide to buy a course, you have to say the same thing. You're trading your money for this course. You're trading your time, your energy for the possibility of having these huge wins that these guys are claiming. So it's something that you have to take into consideration and be realistic with your expectations. So $1 per hour is not something that it's not nothing to brag about, right? So hopefully this analysis has given you enough evidence and information to understand how these type of scams work and help you make an informed decision before spending your hard-earned money in just another trading guru. That is selling just dreams and a fantasy that is only in reality taking advantage of innocent people. So I would rather take advice from someone like Ray Dalio, and this is his quote. He says, this is from his Twitter account: "Anything is possible. It's the probabilities that matter. Everything must be weighted in terms of its likelihood and prioritized." So that was the principle of the day. Don't mistake possibilities for probabilities. And if you don't know who Ray Dalio is, you can Google it up. He's a billionaire and is one of the richest man alive, basically, and he just had the biggest hedge fund, basically. So in other words, don't let the emotions of wanting a big dream fast cloud your judgment. Life, like trading, like I said, is about making smart decisions, and buying a Ferrari cash is definitely not a smart decision. Unfortunately, there are a lot of scams out there, so be careful and do your due diligence to try and make an informed decision. And if you found this video helpful, feel free to like it and share it with someone that is maybe considering buying into this get rich type of scams, and help them understand how they really work. So thank you for watching. Take care.